No one noticed what was missing while Eleanor Whitaker was alive. Absence is easy to ignore when a person is still breathing, still smiling, still baking pies and asking about school, still playing the role everyone expects a grandmother to play. It was only after her funeral, when the family gathered in her bedroom to sort through her things, that the truth quietly revealed itself. Eleanor's room was a shrine to family. Dozens of framed photographs lined the walls and dresser. Grandchildren at every age, first steps, school plays, graduations, wedding days, all carefully arranged as if each moment had been curated for memory. They laughed softly at old hairstyles and outdated clothes, pointing, reminiscing, until someone finally said it out loud, not accusingly, just confused. "Where's Jonah?" The room went still. Jonah stood near the doorway, hands in his pockets, already knowing the answer. They searched again, slower this time, scanning every surface, opening drawers, checking shelves, convincing themselves they must have missed it. But there was no photo of Jonah anywhere in the room, not as a baby, not as a child, not as the adult he had become. Eleanor had lived with those walls for 20 years, and in all that time, she had chosen not to see him there. Someone tried to laugh it off. Maybe she just ran out of space, an aunt said, though the walls were crowded with overlapping frames. Another said she loved him. You know that, as if love and exclusion couldn't exist in the same breath. Jonah didn't argue. He remembered the way Eleanor hugged him, always a second shorter than the others. The way she introduced him to friends without mentioning how he fit into the family, the way she corrected his hair before photos, but never framed the result. Jonah was darker than his cousins, his skin tracing back to a part of the family history that made people uncomfortable, a truth everyone acknowledged privately, but pretended not to see publicly. Eleanor had never said anything cruel. That was the hardest part. She never raised her voice, never insulted him, never pushed him away outright. She simply edited him out of permanence. As the family stood in that room, the silence grew heavy with excuses. No one said aloud that Eleanor was from another generation, that she meant well, that it didn't really mean anything. But Jonah felt the weight of what it did mean. Photos are promises. They say you belong here even when you're not in the room. And Eleanor had lived and died without making that promise to him. Later that night, Jonah sat alone, staring at the wall where his face should have been, imagining the ghost of an empty frame. He thought about how often he had tried to earn space, helping more, smiling wider, staying quieter, believing that one day he'd become easy enough to keep. He thought about the photos Eleanor had chosen, how carefully she must have selected them, how many times she must have looked at that wall and decided, again and again, that his image didn't fit the story she wanted to surround herself with. The next morning, as relatives packed boxes, Jonah did something no one expected. He took a small frame from the dresser, opened his phone, and printed a photo he loved. Not one where he tried to look like everyone else, but one where he looked like himself. He placed it gently on the nightstand. No announcement, no confrontation, just truth, set quietly in the open. When someone noticed and asked if that was okay, Jonah answered calmly, "She didn't put me up." "I did." No one removed it. At the memorial service later that day, people spoke about Eleanor's love, her devotion to family, her attention to detail. Jonah listened without bitterness, understanding now that people can care deeply and still carry biases they never challenge. That harm doesn't always come from hatred. It often comes from comfort. Years later, when Jonah had a home of his own, he filled his walls differently. No hierarchy, no editing. Every face that mattered had a place. And when someone once asked why that mattered so much to him, Jonah answered simply, "Because being loved but not remembered is a quiet kind of loss." Eleanor was gone, and no argument could change what she had chosen not to do. But the empty space she left behind taught the family something they couldn't unsee. That exclusion doesn't always shout. Sometimes it hangs silently on the wall, pretending to be nothing at all, until death removes the distractions and forces everyone to look straight at what was never there. If this story resonated with you, let me know in the comments. Thanks for watching, and remember to subscribe for more stories that make you think.